All right, guys, we're on to chapter 5, the Spanish Word War. Their father is having a private talk with their mother in the kitchen. Now that the weather is nice, he drives up every other weekend to see Miguel and Juanita. Once school is out, he wants them to come down and visit him in the city, but their mother is obviously not in agreement. Voices are rising in the kitchen. Juanita hurries to her brother's side. Miguel can tell she's about to cry. He's not going to get upset. When things get bad, he just daydreams about baseball. But now his sister's tearful face is getting between him and a fly ball. In order to catch it, he pushes her aside. She stumbles, falls, then bursts into tears and runs upstairs. Miguel crouches, catches the imaginary ball, and throws it to the catcher. The crowd stands and roars. His buddies on the team slap him on the back, but somehow he doesn't feel as good as he thought he would. He knocks on his sister's door. "Se puede?" Tia Lola calls out, permitting for him to enter. Their aunt is sitting on the bed with a tearful Juanita. "Tienes que cuidar a tu hermanita," Tia Lola begins when she sees her nephew. "I know. I have to take care of mi hermanita, Tia Lola," Miguel agrees. He speaks to his aunt in Spanglish. Spanglish is what his mother and father call the English with a sprinkle of Spanish when Miguel and Juanita speak, when they think they're speaking Spanish. It's just que sometimes es una baby. "I'm not a baby," Juanita howls. Tia Lola puts an arm around each one. Ya, she pretends to scold them. They are brother and sister. They must not fight. They need to do something together so they will learn to get along. "Maybe she can learn to throw a baseball," Miguel suggests. He smirks at his sister, who sticks her tongue out at him. Tia Lola's face suddenly lights up. She has a great idea. Her niece and her nephew can give her English classes together. Miguel's face falls. He doesn't want to spend the upcoming summer doing anything that resembles schoolwork. "But you don't want to speak English," Miguel reminds her. "English is too hard, Tia Lola. Really," Juanita adds. For the first time all day, brother and sister agree on something. Already, Tia Lola's idea is working. Miguel definitely owes his aunt a favor or two. He is still convinced that back in early spring, she worked some magic to help him make the team. But why does his aunt suddenly want to learn English? For months of refusing to do so. "¿Por qué, Tia Lola?" Their aunt looks rather shy, which is hard for Tia Lola to do with her lively face and bright eyes. She has an admission to make. Their mother has asked her to turn her visit into a stay. She can be of more help to everyone if she knows more English. And to repay her niece and nephew for teaching her English, Tia Lola is going to teach them more Spanish. Yo sé mucho español," Miguel protests. He knows a lot of Spanish. "I know more Spanish than you," Juanita smirks. It is Miguel's turn to stick his tongue out at her. While Mommy and Papi continue their discussion in the kitchen, Miguel begins the first lesson. "Tia Lola, we're going to learn names." He speaks slowly as if he were talking to an old person with a hearing problem. "What is your name?" Tia Lola repeats. "What is your name?" No, Juanita shakes her head. "You have to say, 'My name is Lola.'" No, Tia Lola says, pronouncing every word carefully. "You have to say." "It's no use," Miguel tells his sister. "She doesn't really understand what she's saying." "She doesn't really understand what she's saying," Tia Lola rattles on. Their mother comes to the door, their father behind her. "What's going on here?" she asks. Miguel cannot tell from looking at their faces what agreement they have come to. "We're teaching Tia Lola English," Miguel explains, and then remembering that one of the main reasons their mother has given for not letting them visit their father is that they are too young to travel alone, he added, "Maybe Tia Lola can go down to New York with us if she knows a little English." "She can take care of us," Juanita adds. "We'll see," their mother says. This is what she always says when she hasn't made up her mind whether to say yes or no to something they ask her for. Every opportunity they have, Miguel and Juanita give their aunt an English lesson. On the walk to town, Miguel stops at the sign beside the covered bridge. Load limit 1 ton. Load limit 1 ton, Tia Lola repeats. In town, Miguel points to signs with the names of the streets they are waiting to cross. Hardscrabble, Maine, College, and his favorite, Painter, but because it reminds him of his father. Then the traffic signs. One way, he calls off. Caution. The crossing guard holds up her sign to the traffic. Have a nice day, she says when they have crossed safely to the other side. One way. Caution. You're welcome. Thank you for asking, Tia Lola chatters on. This is the problem with Tia Lola's English. Whenever she begins speaking it, she speaks all of it, all together. The crossing guard looks worried. Have a nice day, Tia Lola concludes. Sometimes by chance, she says just the right phrase. Down the street, walking toward them, comes Mrs. Prudy, accompanied by her chubby twin daughters. Miguel tries to steer Tia Lola into Sense and Spirits, Stargazer's candle and card shop, but Mrs. Prudy has caught sight of them. How nice to see you, Miguel. This must be the aunt your mother was telling me about. Miguel is so flustered he mixes up everybody's name. Mrs. Prudy's daughters giggle and reach out to shake Tia Lola's hands. But that is not Tia Lola's way to greet a person. Load limit 1 ton, Tia Lola coos, hugging the girls, whose round faces turn pink. Slippery when wet, with caution. Mrs. Prudy looks perplexed, especially when Tia Lola throws her arms around her too. Awesome, awesome, get a life, chill out, Tia Lola chants. Miguel cringes. He has been teaching Tia Lola some slang expressions in order to make her sound a little more cool in English. It is a bit chilly for June, isn't it? Mrs. Prudy is saying, her jaw even stiffer than usual as she ushers her girls past the demented woman. Miguel is eager to get Tia Lola home before she embarrasses them any further. As they are walking past the post office, their mailman comes down the steps. Where's the ladies' room? Tia Lola greets him. The young man scratches his head and hurries away. Mi inglés no funciona, Tia Lola finally admits. Her English isn't working. She makes friends easier when she just speaks Spanish to everyone. Her magic doesn't seem to work in a second language. You have to practice, Tia Lola, Miguel reminds her. You have to know what to say when. But every day, Tia Lola cannot wait for her English lesson to be over. Then it is Miguel and Juanita's turn to try to get along in their second language, Spanish. Actually, Miguel and Juanita are not just getting along any better in Spanish than in English. They are fighting more now than they have two languages to do it in. The fights get worse when they learn from their aunt that in Spanish words have gender. What does that mean? Juanita wants to know. Are some words pretty and feminine, and some, she looks over at her brother, ugly and mean? Tia Lola explains to them. In Spanish, words have to be masculine or feminine. She doesn't know exactly why that is. The male words usually end in O and the female words in A, like the words for sky, cielo, it's masculine, while the word for earth, tierra, is feminine. We get the sky, Miguel can't help gloating at his sister. It's as if they are playing Monopoly and he has just bought Boardwalk. Well, we own the earth. It ends in la tierra. It is Juanita's turn to gloat. And everything in the sky, la luna, la lluvia, las estrellas. Tia Lola is shaking her head. It's not the way it works. Boys don't own the sky. Girls don't own the earth, the moon, the rain, and the stars. But neither Miguel nor Juanita are listening anymore. Summer is here. On the way home from the last day of class, Miguel thinks of all the things he has to look forward to. Team practices will soon start up. Hopefully, he will get to visit his father and friends in New York. Meanwhile, Tia Lola is full of ideas for fun things for Miguel and Juanita to do. The first day of vacation, they begin planting a garden in the backyard. Tia Lola slips on her highest of heels as if she were going out to a nightclub instead of the backyard. Then as she walks and zigzags and swerves up and down, making rows, Juanita and Miguel follow behind her, dropping seeds in the holes she makes with her heels. They plant lettuce and verduras, tomatillos, and black beans from packets Tia Lola brought from the island. They clean the raspberry canes, which are already stuffed with bright crimson fruit. I love these, Miguel says, picking mouthfuls as he works away. Unfortunately, the blue jays and red-winged blackbirds love them too. But Tia Lola thinks of a solution. She brings out all her mantillas and drapes them over the raspberry bushes. Now, when the birds swoop down, all they get is a few threads in their beak. Miguel even feels a little sorry for them. He puts out a handful of berries in a dish so the birds can have a treat too. Soon green shoots are coming out of the ground in fanciful zigzaggy rows. It turns out Tia Lola has laid out the garden in the shape of the island. Where her hometown would be on the map, she has planted hierba buena, her favorite vegetable, eggplant. For the border between the Dominican Republic and its neighbor, Haiti, she orders a special kind of rosebush without thorns. For a rosier future between the two countries, she explains in Spanish. She receives her hot chili peppers for the spot. She reserves her hot chili peppers for the spot where the capital would be. Para los políticos, por las mentiras que dicen. Miguel does not understand. For the politicians, because of the lies they tell. Tia Lola laughs. It is kind of an adult joke. You have to keep up with the news to understand. At the center of the garden, Tia Lola posts her beloved Dominican flag. Then she puts her hand on her heart and sings the national anthem, which she is trying to teach her niece and nephew to sing. It is the first time Miguel has seen his aunt, teary-eyed. Mommy explains that Tia Lola is understandably homesick from time to time. Having these reminders and rituals from home make her feel a little less far away from her country and the rest of the family. Of course, the raccoons don't care a hoot about Tia Lola's map. They start eating up the little shoots of lettuce and eggplant and shred the rose bushes to bits. But Tia Lola figures out a way to outsmart them as well. She ties her maracas to a pair of broomsticks and sticks the broomsticks into the ground by the garden. All day and all night, as the breeze blows on them, they're clackety-clack scaring away the raccoons. But the most fun for Miguel is when they go out with the garden shears and prune the bushes in the shapes of parrots, palm trees, monkeys, and huge butterflies. Everyone who drives by stops to marvel at the transformed property. Keep out, no trespassing, Tia Lola greets them, and they quickly get back in their cars and drive away. If Miguel thinks Tia Lola is having a hard time catching on to plain English, using expressions around her proved downright dangerous. Becky has a green thumb, Mommy remarks one day as she comes in the door with a bunch of basil her neighbor has given her. Emergencia, Tia Lola cries out. The thumb could be gangrenous. She reaches for the phone. Mommy has taught her to dial 911 if there is ever an emergency. No, Tia Lola, Mommy stops her. The phrase is an expression in English that means that Becky is good with plants. Then why didn't you say so? Tia Lola asked, very reasonably for once. The afternoon of the first big thunderstorm, Juanita and Miguel are playing outside. They come running in the house, soaking wet. It's raining cats and dogs, Miguel remarks as he throws off his jacket. No me digas, Tia Lola says, running out with a broom to chase the stray cats and dogs away from the front lawn. She slips on the wet steps and goes tumbling down, head over heels. Thank goodness only the broom snaps in two, though the next morning Tia Lola's whole right side is black and blue. Their mother has still not made up her mind about letting Miguel and his sister visit their father in New York. Mommy, please, before practice starts up, Miguel pleads. In a few weeks, the team will have daily practice, and Miguel does not want to miss one day of it. But his mother is not convinced. Tia Lola is still lost in English. Traveling with her would be traveling with an adult who can't really take care of them if they run into a problem. Furthermore, the way that Miguel and Juanita are always arguing, they cannot be trusted to go anywhere together. I promise I'll try, Miguel offers. He'll do anything in order to visit his father and his friends and see New York City again, even if it involves getting along with his little sister. I have to see some improvement first, his mother declares. Miguel finds his sister in her bedroom. She is putting her dolls in the cradles their father has made for her. They are cut out of cardboard and colored with bright designs. Every time Papi drives up to visit, he brings her a new one along. Truce, Nita, Miguel holds up his hands. I mean it. You can have cielo, dinero, carro, all the O words you want. Juanita glances up. A look of suspicion spreads across her face. She can have sky, money, car? Miguel nods, but he can see she is not quite sure what to make of her brother's sudden generosity. He decides to tell his sister the truth. Mommy's not going to let us go to New York unless she sees us getting along. And there is one other thing. We've got to get Tia Lola to say just a few things right so Mommy feels okay about her English. How are we going to do that? Juanita abandons her dolls to work out a plan with her brother. They are quiet a moment thinking. I know, she pipes up. It'll be like the crossing lady. We'll draw some signs on some cards and flash them to Tia Lola when Mommy is around. Great idea, Miguel says, before he remembers that it's his dumb little sister who has come up with it. They draw a plate beside a red stop sign. They explain to their aunt that when they flash her that card, she should say, I can't eat another bite, in English. I can't eat another bite, Tia Lola practices. Muy bien, Tia Lola, Miguel says. Very good. On another card, Juanita draws a round bowl that looks sort of like a toilet bowl. She colors it pink. When Tia Lola sees that card, she has to say, where's the ladies' room? On still another card, they draw a bright sun with a smiley face. Have a nice day, Miguel rehearsed for his aunt. Have a nice day, Tia Lola repeats, smiling at the smiley face. Where's the ladies' room? I can't eat another bite. No, Tia Lola, Juanita explains. Una a la vez. Just say one at a time. Juanita holds up one finger while Miguel flashes one card. They practice it several times. Finally, Tia Lola understands what they want. It is gratifying when it happens. Their mother always says that the easiest language it's the easiest language to learn, but the hardest to speak is mutual understanding. It is easy because you don't have to speak it with words, but hard because you never seem to find the right person to speak it to. At Rudy's restaurant for brunch that Sunday, their mother praises Miguel and Juanita for getting along so well lately. I'm really proud of you guys for making an effort. It's just a plot, so you'll let us go to New York, Miguel feels like saying, but it's not so bad to be getting along with his little sister. Across the table, Tia Lola is hungrily eating forkfuls of Rudy's sourdough pancakes. It is time for step 2 of the plan. Miguel reaches into his pocket. He is sitting next to his mother so she cannot see his left hand. He holds up the card with the drawing of the plate and the stop sign and coughs. Tia Lola looks up and smiles at the card. I can't eat another bite, she says in perfect English, but she keeps right on shoveling pancake into her mouth. Quickly, Miguel pulls Tia Lola's plate toward him and offers to finish it. Before Tia Lola can protest, he holds up the drawing of the pink bowl. Where's the ladies' room? Tia Lola asks out loud. The waitress happening by says, just follow me. But Tia Lola remains seated. Come on, Tia Lola, Juanita urges, taking her aunt by the hand. I've got to go too. Tia Lola looks a bit unsure, but she is game for whatever is going on. Miguel mother watches as Tia Lola and Juanita walk toward the back of the restaurant. Tia Lola's English sure has improved, she notes thoughtfully. Now is the moment to pop the question. Miguel takes a deep breath. So, Mommy, can we go to New York? Miguel can see the conflicting emotion on his mother's face. She will miss them if they leave, but she knows that it's important to let them go. She looks at him for a moment, and then her face relaxes. He understands that that means yes. You'll take care of them, won't you, Miguel? His mother asks, nodding towards Tia Lola and Juanita, who are returning from the bathroom. Of course I will, Mommy, Miguel promises. As his sister sits down, Miguel looks straight at her and smiles. She smiles back. They are speaking the language of mutual understanding without having to say a single word. We're going to New York, his look says. I can't wait, her smile replies. Rudy comes out of the kitchen to say hello. He has been swamped with the brunch crowd, and he finally has a minute. He ruffles Miguel's hair and asks Tia Lola how she likes his pancakes. By the way, can I get you folks a piece of my summertime specialty, mud pie, compliments of the house? I can't eat another bite, Mommy said as she bends over and picks up a couple of cards that have fallen on the floor. I think these are yours, she says, winking at Miguel. She lays the cards on the table, a red stop sign and a pink bowl. By the way, she asks Juanita, as if she doesn't already know, where is the ladies' room? Right, guys, that's the end of that chapter.